My name is Adrian Crawford, and I'm not a senior anymore. I graduated from Mount Pleasant High School as a wrestler, and I decided to start wrestling because I didn't even actually really decide. Ivan just kind of said I looked like a good wrestler, and I joined. So I was like, all right, let's just kind of go with the flow thing. My first impression of the sport was that it was really hard. First day, came home with a black eye, so that was fun. My first impressions of Coach Hop and Ivan were probably, Coach Hop I didn't really meet till, probably mid-season, so I didn't really know him that well. Coach Ivan was kind of just, the push-hard coach. He encourages you to do a lot of things. Hop was, more of a quieter, but, more, precise with, what do you want you to do type coach.
If you are the aggressor in the match and you're getting that guy coming to the out of bounds line, I want you to shoot him out. Listen to how important this is. You shoot the guy out, the ref bangs him for stalling once. He warns him. Once he warns him for stalling, anytime he starts to back up, that's when you're going to start to capitalize and get points just from moving forward. And this is it. This is all you got to do. I'm on the edge of the mat. Boom, fake. Boom, fake. He's backing up. I'm going to be calm for the stalling. Once the ref bangs him once for stalling, you got to do that a bunch of times. Fake, move in there, hand fight, push him around. The ref's going to start banging him for stalling.
My relationship with Hop and Ivan over the years was student and master kind of relationship. Me and Hop, we kind of bonded more because he brought me to a lot of places, especially during off season. But Ivan was a great coach as well, and we bonded as well. They were both great. I didn't know if I would stick with the sport or not because obviously wrestling is really hard. A lot of people don't know if they're going to stick with the sport, but I think I chose to stick with the sport it kind of grew on me because it was just so competitive, and I like being in the competitive scene as a wrestler. My first year as a Kiltie was probably my hardest year because it was I had to adapt to getting used to being around people all the time, teammates and stuff, which I had never done really sports before. And being at practice every day and training hard, it was probably my hardest year. It probably took me till my sophomore year, maybe in the off season, to realize that I can be really good at wrestling. And it was pretty cool because I noticed that around the time I started actually maybe placing in a tournament or doing okay against a decent kid, and it made me feel good, and I wanted to continue growing in the sport. The differences between my freshman year and my senior year is probably that I wouldn't really say too much personality wise. Maybe I got more leadership skills because I became the captain, and I got a lot more skill as a wrestler, and I learned a lot of what the sport was actually about. Most of the teammates pushed me in the wrestling room because that's just kind of what we do, but I'd say probably Elidio and Deshaun were probably pushed me the most in the wrestling room. And they were probably my favorite teammates as well. They were just probably a lot of my best competition that was around when I was actually wrestling. They're probably my favorite wrestler to watch wrestle was Ipina, because his double legs were just really cool to watch. I've seen a lot of people come and go from the room, and I think the reason why they quit is because just plain out simple, the sport is hard, and not a lot of people can actually take wrestling and be able to stay there like everyone else. And I think I didn't quit because I like the competitive environment and training to make myself better. To me, becoming the captain of the team, I think it was like it was kind of like a great honor to be the captain of the Kilties, cause like I'm the head of everyone there. Oh, I don't know how to explain that. Being the captain kind of gave me like a lot of leadership over them and somebody like that they could really look up to, and I think it was like a really good role for me. I could consider myself a leader because I don't know, I feel like giving me the spot as captain and being able to like be like kind of like a role model to everyone else, it's just like that's just the kind of like position you have there. I was a lead by example leader. I was never really vocal. I didn't really like talking to people. I kind of just did what I did and people watched, and that's just how I am, so yeah. The off-season grind was probably one of the better parts of wrestling, because it wasn't like excruciatingly painful practice and like do this, do that. It was like you got to practice a lot of your skill, and you had a lot of fun going to tournaments and like practicing new skills, or using your new skills that you got from those type of practices in the off-season, which aren't as hard, but you're still training. But off-season, I feel like, was definitely the better part of wrestling. It makes a huge difference to actually be like a part of the off-season grind. I think a lot of the off-season moments that like stuck out to me are probably when we traveled to like new states and got to see like the different type of competition. So like when we would go to like Pennsylvania or Vermont or like all the tournaments in Massachusetts, it's definitely a lot different than Rhode Island. I didn't try any other sports. Maybe, I don't know, I did try track for like a week, but I hate running, so that was really boring. I mean, there's more stuff in track, but track is boring. Coach always says, do not run away from your problems. I probably could see myself expanding into kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or whatever. Anything really. Like any other type of combat sport, because I feel like there's like a whole competitive scene there, and it'd still be like around like the same like type of thing. And wrestling is a huge base for a lot of these other sports too, as a lot of people have been saying. I could see myself continuing to wrestle after high school, because there's still a lot of people I know that wrestle, and I wouldn't mind wrestling like in college and continuing to grow. To become a good wrestler, I think you really need to try like 110% all the time. Go to practice, train. You need to practice your moves. You need to get a good mindset that's going to allow you to keep pushing to become the best possible version of yourself. You got to overcome your mind, really, to become the best wrestler, to become a good wrestler. And that'll be the difference between you losing a match and winning a match, and you'll be able to feel what it's like to get your hand raised, which is probably like one of the best feelings when you're wrestling. It's like you just grinded so hard, and then you finally get your hand raised knowing that you're better than the other person, and that just always feels great in competition. I think the best parts about being on a team on and off the mat is you always have people that you can kind of trust and feel like you're around like a type of family that is going to work with you and get better with you, and be able to like, you can see their progress as well as them seeing yours, and you might actually find them later on and still talk to them. Wrestling has probably changed me for the better, because it changed my mindset as a person, like in like off the mat, like out of the wrestling room. I feel like it changed it, so like it makes me work harder. It makes me, I mean, I can relate a lot to wrestling, to like a lot of real life problems and stuff like that, and I feel like it's really helped me and pushed me through a lot.
Division champs on 9. Kilties on 3. Brownies on 6. Division champs on 9. Got it, Leo.